Hello, it's Elaine with Elaine's Custom Cards. Today I am going to do some paper pumpkin alternatives, and I have 5 different cards that I made. When you get the February, if you've already received it, mine was a little bit late, you can make 3 different cards, and there's 3 of each card, so there's 9 cards that you can make. And then on the back it gives you some examples of different alternatives that you can do. And one of the things that I incorporated into one of my cards is the Flower and Field Designer Series paper that's free until tomorrow's the last day, or February 28th. So I thought I'd try and get this in. With a $50 purchase, you can get this paper for free. So let's get started on the first card. This one's really simple. I took one of the card bases and cut it in half like this. It's this color on both sides, and so I cut it, and then I cut this down to 4 by 5 1/4, and then I embossed it with this embossing folder. You don't have to emboss it, I just did. And I'll put down in the in my blog which things I've used that are not included in the paper pumpkin. I did use the stitched framelits for this one, and the layering circles framelits for the part on the outside. And then it comes with the sequins that are sticky, and I put some of those on here. So let's do this card really quick. Here's my embossed piece, and I just glued it to the front of my card. This is Bumblebee, 8 1/2 by 5 1/2, scored at 4 1/4. So I just embossed this piece and then glued it on the front, just like so. And I took this piece, which this was actually 1 inch wide, and it came in the kit. There was 3 of them. I cut it in half lengthwise, and then I took one of the card bases, and I was cutting out my pieces with this, and I just cut this off the end of the card base after I cut the card base in half. And then I just glued this to the front of my card, and I put it 1.5 inches on the 1.5 inch line. So the bottom of the strip is 1.5 inches from the bottom of the card. From the base of the card to the bottom of this is 1.5 inches. And hopefully that's straight. That looks straight. Okay. And then I glued my sentiment. I stamped it with Mossy Meadow, because the Mossy Meadow ink spot comes with the kit. And I glued that together because this is just part of this piece, which was the card base. And then I put dimensionals on the back. Glued that right about here. And I took my this punch out, comes in the kit, and I trimmed around my ribbon because I wanted it to look like ribbon. So I trimmed around it to get rid of some of the white space that was there. Put dimensionals on the back. I used a couple of minis. They don't come in the kit, but the big ones do, regular sized ones. I didn't put any on this side because it's going to be over the top of my sentiment, just like so. Wanted it to look like this was tied like a ribbon to this piece. That's why I did it this way. Glued that down, and then I took my inside piece. This comes with this stamp set, and I used this image, or this sentiment, and this one. And then I use these little flowers and the small leaf to stamp in the corner. And I just glued that to the inside of the card. Don't look at the back. I got it crooked the first time I stamped it. Good thing these things have two sides. You always stamp before you glue it down. So we'll just glue that to the inside of our card. And this card's done. So that, oops, not quite done. Got to put these things on. Oh, that one came off, it's sticky. Okay. So I put 3 of these on. One down here. One up here. And one right here. There, now that card's done. So that's alternative number 1. The next one is, why these things keep coming up. The next one I patterned after the one that's on the back of the paper pumpkin, this one right here. I took a piece of 3 5/8 by 4 7/8, and then I trimmed it with, these are the Ornate Borders dies, and I just used that image there to do this. Then I took a piece of the envelope. I cut the envelopes up. And this piece is 1 1/8 by 4 1/4. So the first thing I stamped with this, and then I colored it with my Stampin' Blends. And I used several different colors and just kind of copied it after the colors on here. So Rococo Rose, and this is light cherry cobbler, because there isn't Mary Merlot in the Stampin' Blends. So anyway, I colored this. This is oh, I should know all of this. Misty Meadow. And this piece is 4 1/8 by 5 3/8. And I just glued these together. And you want to color them first because it will bleed through. So you glue that on the Misty Meadow. Now if you have any questions on any of these, I'll try to put it on my blog, all the sizes. They're generally about the same. I use the same sizes. And then I used, to cut this out, the Ornate Frames dies. I used this one right here. And then I used some different stamp sets on this. I'll tell you which one I used for this sentiment is, Always in My Heart. I used this sentiment right here. And for the inside, You're a Blessing in My Life came from His Love. And the Giving Thanks with a Grateful Heart came from A Wish for Everything. So that's where I got those. So let's get this glued together. So we'll just glue this on the front of our card. This is the inside. Glue this. I'll show you the rest of the cards. If I run out of time, I can just explain without putting them together, because I like to keep my videos fairly short. And there's that. And then I took this piece right here, and it's the width of, I want it the width of the blue, so it needs to be trimmed a little bit right there. So let's trim this to 4 1/8. then we'll just glue that to the front. Like I said, this is from the inside of the envelope. I cut up my envelopes that came in the kit. So we'll just glue this down here, right above the little circles on that trim. And then this, I just put dimensionals on the back. I sponged around it. Well, I didn't sponge around this one, but we can do that really quick. Not sure where my sponge is. But anyway, I sponged around this one before I put it on. So I'll do that later. I stamped it with the Misty Meadow. I got this little image from Under My Umbrella. There's a bunch of little flowers. I thought they matched pretty well with what I was doing here. And then this is the inside. This piece is 5 by 3 3/4, and this one is 3 5/8 by 4 7/8. And I just glued that to the inside, like so. And I did sponge around this with the Bumblebee. We can do that really quick. I just used one of these. I forgot to do it to this one, but it looks good without it. So you can do it either way, sponge around it. I can still sponge it and it'll still look good. So I did that one. And then this one, this Rejoice and Be Glad, came from his love. It's right here. And then the inside sentiment, He Lives, came from Gift of Hope, right here. So that's where I got those. This is one of the card bases. I cut it down to, I'll tell you really quick, 5 by 3 3/4. This piece is 4 by 5 1/4, and it is Pool Party. So that's these pieces. And I sponged around this with crumb cake. The cross came from His Love. I showed you that. I put a little strip of this here. I embossed this one with this embossing folder right here. You don't have to emboss it. I just thought it looked nice. And then I used those little flowers again here. And then this comes with a doily that's gold. Well, I flipped it over because I like the back side better. But the doily, I used my layering ovals again. And this stamped this is Pool Party. And I stamped this with Just Jade. And it's going to go right in the center. Popped up. And then I have this ribbon that's Pool Party ribbon that you're going to put across here. After you glue, you're going to glue these two together right here, and then you're going to put this across here like this. If you have any questions on any of these, please don't hesitate to email me or leave me a comment. I'll go ahead and glue this together. It only comes with like 3 of these and 3 of these, and I needed more than that. So I took one of the others flowers that looks like this. It's together like that, and I trimmed it because I wanted, I needed enough. Actually, it's this. Oh, it's a different flower. Anyway, because I wanted an extra flower. So we'll glue this. Hopefully I won't run out of glue before I finish my cards. And then this, I glued this just right here to the front. Took dimensionals and put on the back of this. Centered that right there. And then I just glued these and tucked them under so you won't even see that it's been cut. So I can just tuck it underneath here, just like that. And you can do the same thing with the yellow one. Tuck it under, just like that. And then need a glue dot for this. And this comes with glue dots. So we'll put a glue dot on the back of the ribbon. I've pre-tied these. And you're going to center that right underneath the sentiments, just like so. And then you're going to take some tape. If I don't cover that, it's going to dry up. And just tape this to the back, like so. I don't know why I'm always trying to conserve on ribbon, because I always have leftover ribbon. When it retires, I still have some. Take that to the back. Glue it to the front of your card. Make sure you're right side up. The card base is just jade, if I didn't say that already. And then you're going to sponge around this with the crumb cake. And then you're going to put this on here, just like that. And glue it to the inside, like so. This is 4 7/8 by 3 5/8, and that strip is 3 5/8. So that's card number 3. I know something hit the floor. Okay, now I'm going to show you how to do this card. These were hard to, I put this on here and it was really hard to get it on there. And then I watched Rachel Tessman and how she did it, and I thought, oh, that's brilliant. So this comes from the Ornate Layers dies. It's this one right here. I just cut it out on basic white. If you cut around your let me find it here. I don't know where I put it. Anyway, I cut around the thank you, peeled off all the negative stuff, and left it on this piece. And then I used the press and seal and put on here. And then you're going to let me get this off here. It's my bow. Okay, once you do that, then you're going to slowly peel this off, and it's going to leave your sentiment on the press and seal. And then you can put this on here where you want, and your letters stay in shape. So just like that. Press that down. Peel off your press and seal. And there you have it. Okay. Then I took a basic white card base. This is one of the card bases I cut down. I made it to 4 1/4 or 4 1/8 by 5 3/8. This is the inside of the envelope, and it's 3 7/8 by 5 1/8, and we're just going to glue that to this, just like so. And we can glue this to the front of our card. Makes me wish that there would have been some designer series paper that looked like this pink. It's really pretty. Once you glue that on there, then you're going to glue this to the front. Come on. So, put that in the center. Then you're going to take your flowers, pop them up on dimensionals. Put one in this corner and one in this corner. And then put your bow on right here. And then for the inside, I used the sentiment from the paper pumpkin. This is part of the card base, 5 1/4 or 5 1/8 by 3 7/8. I sponged around it with Rococo Rose, and that's what color this is. This is 3 5/8 by 4 7/8, and I used this punch to punch the corners. And then I took a piece of this card base, and I cut 2 1-inch squares, and then cut them like this. And then I glued them here, just like that on each corner, and then I glued this down, just like that. I sponged it all, and then put it on the inside of the card. And this is the card you get. Okay? And for the last card, this is a kind of a fun fold. Opens like this. I made this into a birthday card. This is just jade. It's 8 1/2 by 5 1/2 and scored on each end at 2 1/8. So you 2 1/8 and 2 1/8, and then it goes like this. And I took one of the card bases, and you make sure that you've got them so they line up. Cut it to 5 1/2 by 4, and you're going to glue your pieces together. First you're going to glue these on here, right next to each other, so that it comes together here. But make sure it lines up. Like that. And then you're going to take 2 pieces of Pool Party. Each piece is 3 1/2 by 2 1/2. One's going on this side, and one's going on this side, and they're going to meet in the middle. It's like this. Okay? And then you're going to take some of the Field and Flowers paper, and I cut it 4 3/4 by 3 1/4. And you want to make sure these line up, so that when you're gluing these, you're going to glue it like this. Just like this. And then you're going to put one on this side with a little bit of space at the top, and you're going to center it right to left. Just like this. Okay? And only put glue on this half. So it looks like that. And then you're going to do the same thing with this one, only you're going to put the glue on this side so that it opens like this. Okay? And then for the inside, I took another strip of that paper to put at the bottom. I punched it with this punch here in the corner so that you could see this. And then I took one of the labels, excuse me, from the kit, stamped Happy Birthday on it, and put dimensionals on the back, put it on the top, put a bow that's made from, this is the linen thread, and I made a little bow. And then let's see, oh, these pearls are retired, but they're from Share What You Love, I believe. Yeah, Share What You Love artisan pearls. I had leftovers. But you can take your regular pearls and just put, white pearls, or you can color them with your Stampin' blends and put on there. So however you want to do it, I just was using these up, and I had these. So those are my alternatives. I'm sorry this was kind of rushed, but I wanted to make sure and show them all to you. If you have questions on sizes or dimensions, please go to my blog, and everything will be there. They're all basic sizes what I normally use. I can give you any information you need. If you want to order anything from me, go down a little down arrow and it'll take you to my you can get to my online store there, or you can go to my blog and you can get this paper for free, and tomorrow's the last day. So you have a blessed day, and I hope you like my alternatives. I will try to put that information on my blog so that it'll be easy for you to duplicate them if you want, or you can email me, leave me a message on which card you would like more information on, and I can email you back. So you have a blessed day and have fun stamping.